All right, so yesterday I tried to do a webinar hangout kind of thing where I wanted to go through one of the techniques that I use in PowerPoint, but the whole thing ended up being quite a mess. People couldn't get onto the platform, and then after a while, they got onto it, but they couldn't see the screen that I was sharing. And finally, I got the screen to be shared, but then it was really tiny on the left hand side, and it was really small. And then, yeah, I was a nervous wreck during the time because everything was going wrong and I was fumbling and mumbling with my words and all of that. So it was a huge mess. And in the end, after after I stopped the webinar, it sent the recording to everyone who registered. So yeah. Anyway, let's just move on to today. I wanted to do that same tutorial. I'll record it this time without being live on a webinar, and it's called Focus Windows, and it looks something like this. Hopefully you can see my screen this time. Um, so let's just play this. So focus window is when you have a picture or an illustration and you bring focus to one area using a frame like this. Everything else is darkened, and then there's a circular frame like this. And then you can put anything else and animate anything else on the slide, of course, like words and text and stuff like that. There's so many ways you can use this. For example, if you're presenting a diagram and you want to talk specifically about one part of that diagram, you can just focus in on that specific area like this. This one's an interesting one. This one is a scene from Brave, the Pixar animated movie. And if you wanted to show people, you know how Pixar, they like to do Easter eggs. They have small little caricatures and stuff, or small elements in there that relate to other movies in their portfolio. So this one, for example, there's something in here that's relating back to Monsters Inc. If you can't spot it yet, I'm just going to focus in on that right now. That's cool, right? You can do that exactly using the focus windows technique. Well, I call it the focus window, but yeah, other people may call it something else. Again, here's another example. If you have a text from a page, a picture of a page, and you want to just focus in on one part of that page, you can just do it like this, and then focus window. Oh, for example, this one, if you wanted to focus on a couple of words, you can do a number of focus windows. So every time the word Pegasus appears in this text, it can be cut out and shown like this. Okay, so let's take a look to see how this was done. So I'm just going to go into that first one here. Oh, let's just take the second one. It's easier. So I'm going to copy this picture out, this slide to a second slide, and I'm going to show you what layers are there on this slide. So to do that, I'm just going to use the arrange function. So go to home on the menu, and then on the ribbon you'll see something called arrange. Click on that, and the first item here is called reorder objects. So click on that and you'll see there's two objects here. And you can reorder them by just clicking and holding it down and then pushing it all the way back, and then now you've made the image come to the front and the frame come to the back. So I'm going to push it back to where it was originally, just to show you that this is one rectangle shape, like a dark rectangle shape with a circle cut out of it, and it's allowing you to look into the picture behind it. Okay, so if you move that around, you can see what that looks like. All right, so let's take a look to see how this was done. I'm going to delete that frame. Now you've just got this image here, so put it in the middle of the slide like this, and now all you need to do is create a shape. Again, on the home menu bar, you've got this shape function. Click on that, then choose rectangle, and then just draw a rectangle that cuts across the whole slide like that. And then you want to change the color of that. So right click on that rectangle and then go down that menu until you see format shape. Click on format shape and you'll get the sidebar options here, the settings here. So this fill is the fill color for this rectangle. Just choose a color that you want. I'm going to choose black, and I'm just going to make it a little bit more transparent by sliding that transparency slide somewhere around 50% maybe. Okay, I like that. There's a bit of a frame around that rectangle, so I don't want that frame. I'm just going to click that rectangle, and then up on that menu bar you'll see a shape outline. I'm just going to click on that small arrow and say no outline. So that removes that blue rectangle around that blue frame around that rectangle. Now I want to create that circle around, let's say I want to circle around this particular component in this diagram. So I'm going to go to shapes, and I'm going to click on circle or oval, and then I'm going to just hold down my shift key while I draw this circle so it retains that circular shape. All right, so hold on the shift key and then draw that circle. Okay, so again, this circle has a blue fill and a dark blue outline. I'm just going to click on that circle and then take out that outline. We're going to shape outline up here and click on no outline. All right, it doesn't matter what color the circle is because it's going to be used to cut out that circular shape from the rectangle. So what you need to do is click on the rectangle first, hold down the shift key, and then click on the circle, and then go up to your menu bar and click on this shape format menu. And on the left hand side, you'll see something called merge shapes. Click on merge shapes and you have a couple of options here. I want you to focus on the second one here, which is called combine. If you click on combine, watch what happens. It cuts out the second shape from the first shape and retains the settings of the first shape. Okay, so you can move that around if you wanted to, but let's just leave it there. And if you wanted to have a red circle or a red shape, like if you wanted the circle to have a red outline, then you can just click on the rectangle and then go back to shape outline and select, red. So it gives that red circle shape, red circle outline there. And that's basically it. I don't want that outline, so I'm just going to remove that. Control Z. Now, the thing is, if you play this right now, it will just appear as is. But what you want to do, usually in a presentation, you want to show the whole thing first and then focus it in one area. So to do that, click on the rectangle, and then go to animations, and then choose a suitable animation. I like to use fade. Okay, so now when you click play, it shows the whole diagram in full, and then you can say, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to focus in on one area right now, which is this one here, like that. Okay. So this one is a little bit different. This one, if you remember, let me just show you. This one sort of zooms into one area and then creates that window. So to do this, it's actually two steps. One, you've got one slide here, which is the full picture. There's nothing here. There's no animations or anything. You just copy that whole slide. I'm going to just delete this second one. Copy this whole slide into a second slide. And you notice that when you've copied the second slide, copied it into a second slide, you've lost the background color. So to get that back, you see this small thing that's emerged here at the bottom when you've pasted it. Just click on that and say keep source formatting. That retains whatever formatting that was on the original slide. It keeps it into the second slide that you've copied and pasted. So now you've got two exactly similar slides. The second one, I want you to just click on that image and then just make it a little bit bigger. Like this. Okay, and then bring that area that area somewhere around the middle. Okay, now you can actually crop the rest of it, or you can just leave it as it is. I like to crop it usually, so just double click the picture and then click on crop on the picture format menu. There's a crop in the ribbon. And then you can just resize it how you want. I'm just going to resize it so it's exactly the size of the slide. Okay, and then click outside. Anywhere outside here, just click anywhere outside there and it just crops it like that. Okay, so now you want to frame that area here. So again, the same steps. Click on shapes, click on the rectangle, and then just draw that rectangle all across. Change that rectangular color to black. Slide that transparency down to maybe 50%. Oh, it's a bit too dark, so I'll make it 70%, let's say. And then draw a circle using the oval shape. Hold the shift key down and then draw that circle around that area, right, like that. And then I just remove the outline of that circle by going to shape outline and then click no outline. And then now just click on that rectangle shape. And then hold down shift key and then click on the second shape, which is the oval. And then go up to the shape format menu, click the shape format menu. And on the left, you got merge shapes, select combine. And as you can see, there's a blue rectangle, outline around that circle that was there. So I'm just going to click on the rectangle now and then click on shape outline and say no outline. Okay. So now you've got two pictures, two slides like this. Actually, I think that transparency needs to be a bit darker, so I'm just going to make it a little bit darker like this. Okay. All right, so now I've got two slides, but when you play it, it looks a bit weird. So it's like this, and then boom, like this. I don't think that's suitable. I think you want it to slide, zoom in nicely, and then fade in, right? So that's two steps. So the first thing you got to do is you got to add a transition from this slide to this one. So to do a transition, click on that second slide, which is this one, and then go up here to the transitions menu and choose morph. Morph is my favorite transition because what it does is it morphs whatever image was on that first slide, whatever element that was on that first slide. If you've changed it somehow, maybe you change the color or the size or the position, it will tween from that original source to the destination source. It will tween and morph exactly into that shape. So it'll look as if it's an animation. So now you've got this one. Let's just play that. Play, and then if you click next, it morphs into the new position. Oh, sorry. So what it did there is it automatically showed the rectangle as well. So let's say you didn't want to show the rectangle first. You want to animate that. So click on that rectangle and go to animations and then choose fade. So that requires you to click before it shows that rectangle, that frame, right? So let's go back to the first one again. Play, click next. It zooms in and then click next. It displays the frame, the focus window. All right, so that's how you do that one. Simple, right? And let's see this one. This is the multiple one. It's exactly the same as this one. It's just that you've cut out a number of different shapes here. So similarly, instead of just cutting out one frame, you can just go, like, I'll just cut out a few other words from here. I'll show you exactly how that was done. So the same way you've done the earlier ones, just create that black rectangle shape, change the transparency level of that black rectangle, and then combine these other rectangle shapes on top of that one. So I'm going to just cut out a few other words. I'll just show you can do it multiple times as well. So just click on shapes, choose the rectangle. I'll just cut out glimpse, just draw a rectangle over the word glimpse. I'll just do another rectangle over, rectangle over the word beautiful. And I'm just going to select both of those rectangles, and this time I'm going to choose the outline color of maybe bright yellow like this. Okay, so now select the first shape, and then select the second blue and third blue, and then now same thing, go to shape format, click on merge shapes, and click on combine. And you notice, even though I selected the yellow outline, the outline here is changed to red color. And that's because this shape has a red outline attached to it. So if I go in here and choose no outline, it removes all of the outlines. And if I put in yellow, it changes it to a yellow outline like this. Okay. So same thing, original slide. It morphs into the second slide, and it shows you the cutout shapes of the frame windows, focus windows. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to share in the webinar yesterday. I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions or any suggestions or anything you want to talk about in terms of this focus window technique, just leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. All right, see you then. Bye.